we're here at Team Hanson Drifting. We're putting in our cage from Cage Kits. We're doing the S13 Ultra Tight cage. This guy fits really tight from what I understand, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes together. First we got it on a pallet. Everything was really, just had all the surfaces needed to be cleaned. So we got Scotch-Brite, we cleaned all the surfaces. And then we laid them all out according to from front to rear where they go. So we have the rear X bar, we got the main hoop, we got the 8 pillars, we got the door bars, and then coming over here, we have the anti-intrusion bars. So first things first, we got them off the pallet, we got them cleaned. We're gonna go tack them all in. And when we tack them in, we put it in a tack spot where we can break the weld so that we can adjust it accordingly. Don't weld anything in until it's all put together and the top of the cage is welded. So yeah, that's it. Let's start slamming this cage in the car and just tacking it in. All right, so we just got these rear strut tower braces fitted, cleaned up, and ready to tack those in. Both sides, boom, boom, boom. We're gonna get the bar that goes between them and make sure that it's fitted just right before we go tack it in. And we threw this bar in and it just pushed everything nice and straight and plumb. Just got the 8 pillars in, and we just put one little tack back there in, and it held the rest of it all in place. And we just stuffed this guy in there, and it just was so tight, it just held itself in there, which is like it's touching on both sides of the frame. So it's pretty stinking tight.
Yeah.
I don't want to install this bar and tack it in down there because I haven't welded the other side of this bar up in there. But to get this bar where it lands there, I need to have that one in, I believe. So got that held in there. I'm gonna put one more, we'll put this in, that should set the location for that. And then at that point, we could potentially pull this bar out and weld this one in solid. Theoretically, but we're not gonna weld everything in solid until every piece is in. So with this kit, I think one of the important parts for getting the main hoop set in the correct place is this door bar. So we got everything else set in. The main hoop could still pivot forward and backward. We didn't tack that in yet. We set the door bar in, and that set our location for the main hoop, for how vertical or it was going to stand. So got that in, we'll tack that in. It's gonna come back out when we do everything else, but we're gonna leave the door bar in and tacked in. We weld up the lower portion of the bottom side of the 8 pillars and those locations right there. Then we'll pull the door bar back out. Here installing the door bars, and the lettering on these, even though it says B means bent, that also means back. So on the other side, the same thing is in effect. So the door bars are a different length from that bend. One's 24 and one's 27. And you'll know that with the lettering and the B, put the lettering all to the back of it on the door bars. That'll help you out. All right, so we cut some holes in the floor. We dropped the front of the cage down, and we welded the top of all of the stuff. Prior to that, we welded everything on the bottom of the cage so that it held it still. We had everything tacked in, we welded everything on the bottom of the cage, and then we cut loose that portion there, and then cut it loose from down there, cut it loose from down there, rolled it forward into the holes, dropped it down. Those holes were already in the car when we got the car, so the holes should be right underneath of the plate, and ours are. Dropped it down, welded it.
Yeah, the old holes. These were here when we got the shell.
Slid it back up into place, put the plates back underneath of it to fill the holes, and then just started tacking it all in place, welding it in place.
All
Move this bracket down, there's the tube down a little bit.
Just moved a little high when you ratcheted it on what this side.
So we're about 3/8 down on this side, your quarter, a little more. One more right there.
Yep. Sometimes you run into situations where you just can't get the welder back behind there, the tip, and go ahead and get really creative. We just took the pry bar and bent this panel back in there a little bit more. So whatever it takes, quarter power, pry bar, ratchet straps, you can get to all the welds. You just gotta be a little inventive. So we got the cage done. We got it done in about 10 to 12 hours. We MIG'd it all in. That was missing the intrusion bars at that time frame. The cage is super tight. It's touching in a lot of spots. So the newest design is a much better fitment. Super excited to have it in the car. Yeah, go check them out. It went together flawlessly. I think I had to re-notch one of them just because I moved the intrusion bars in a little closer. Make sure when you do your intrusion bars that you get your clearance for your front tires, depending on what tires you're going to run on it. Just because they made it for a stock shell, we shortened it all up because we're going to run an 18-inch wheel on the front of it. So just be aware of that. Other than that, go get one, put it in a day, and go drifting next week.